In this video, I want to answer the second question, which is based around your drums. Now, this is quite a standard approach from Edexcel, which is that they're going to give you a MIDI file, either for a bass or a synth lead. In this case, it's going to be for drums. And what they want you to do, basically, is to take the sounds from an acoustic kit. And this is important. It must be an acoustic drum kit. And they want you to map this into the individual areas in here, kick drum, snare drum, etc., etc. So this is how I would recommend that you do this. In Ableton, all I'm going to do is drag and drop this file onto a MIDI track. Once I've done that, I'm then going to go and drag and drop a drum rack onto that MIDI track, and this is what it's going to look like. It'll be blank, and what you should do is go into your library and have a look in your drums on the areas that can have a kick drum or a snare drum or any one of these other sounds. And what you're going to do then is just drag and drop them into the boxes here. Now, I would highly recommend that what you do is you drag and drop these in the same order: kick drum, snare drum, crash, hi-hat, and ride onto these boxes in the exact same order. The reason why that you want to do this is when you open up your editor and you have a look at this, these notes here, which haven't got any sounds in them at all, are going to be mapped or changed into these that have sounds: your ride cymbal, your hi-hat, crash cymbal, kick, and also snare. So don't forget that kick drums are usually on your first and third beat. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click the G4, which will highlight all of my individual notes, and I'm just going to move these down to my kick. The next one is going to be your snare drums, and if I can just zoom in a bit, notice how that these hits here are going to be on beats 2 and beats 4, and it's sort of like a constant beat. That will then tell me that this more than likely is going to be on a snare drum. So I'm going to move this thing down to my snare drum. Crash cymbals usually happen every once in a while, not a lot. So I'm going to imagine that this first beat is going to be my crash cymbal. Again, highlight this. It'll select everything on the B4 and then just move this down to your crash cymbal like this. Now, the hint here is that your closed hi-hat will start on the fourth beat of bar 11. Let me just zoom in a bit here. So this is going to be this. As you can see, it begins in bar 11. So again, I'm going to click on my note here. It will select everything, and I'm going to move that then down to my hi-hats. And last but not least, on the A4 here, and I'm just going to move this to the sound from my ride. Now, the reason why I recommend this is because it's almost like a puzzle, and what you're supposed to do is to move these individual sounds to the correct timbre, or individual notes, sorry, to the correct timbre. If you don't know about how a drum pattern is meant to sound, like a puzzle, that you can just sort of fit this together. If you need it to, you can always move these individual notes up and down to these areas here that haven't got any sound in them, and then keep moving them back and forth. This is a 5 marker, so it shouldn't take any more than about 5 minutes for this. What I would recommend is that once you have all your sounds and you listen to this beat, if you've got time for this, I would recommend listening for the whole beat, because if you have a certain timbre, your kick drum or your snare drum or one of these timbres in here that don't sound good together, what you can do is you can hit the swap button and then just swap this out for a ride cymbal or for a crash or whatever it is to make it sound a bit more authentic. Okay, so that should be that. Notice how on the mark scheme it will give you 1 mark for each of the correct timbres for balancing and all this stuff, and definitely that is going to be this acoustic kit. Let me know if there are any questions.